I cooked my food the way I would want to cook it at home. I don't think I've had anything like a better bhalla papi chat than that. I really wished to travel in India at this time because I think that would just mean so much to me. We've made Indians proud, we've made our cuisine proud, we've also elevated that cuisine to a different level internationally, and that makes me really happy. I've been asked this question quite a lot, but to be honest, I've always wanted to participate in MasterChef because of the type of show it was. It elevated everyone's style of cuisine, whatever they cooked on the show. It really showcased that. It's not about the drama side of things. It's purely based on cooking, which is why I loved it so much. And I've learned a lot from just watching as a viewer as well, and following recipes online and those kind of things. I think it was COVID that really kind of pushed me into applying, because I filled out the application a couple of times, but I never really applied for it because I was always kind of unsure if I'm good enough or if my style of cooking will even be accepted on that show. Like I can bake a cake and I can make, home style food, but is that good enough? So I just kind of pushed myself to go for it. I'm not 100% sure in terms of the differences between different styles of cooks, but I can tell you one thing is when I was cooking in the show, there is a level of pressure and a level of stress that we all walk in to the kitchen with. Yeah. Every time there is a challenge, every morning we used to be like, oh God, what is it going to be today? But there are some challenges where I was just so within my zone, and it's not necessarily a comfort zone. And people say, cook outside of your comfort zone. But honestly, cooking 5 different dishes in 60 minutes, 75 minutes is already putting you outside of your comfort zone because you don't know if you can achieve it or not. You think you can achieve it. And there is an adrenaline rush. So you are working a lot faster than you think you are. But at the same time, I think there was a point, especially with that bento challenge that I cooked in, that was pure home food. And that's what took me, kind of blew me away as well with their response, that I didn't expect them to like it so much, because when I was cooking, I forgot about the fact that, this was a challenge. I was just cooking and I was enjoying so much. My aim was just to execute what I planned, and I just wanted to make that bento look like an Indian THALI or a tiffin. That was my plan, and it worked, and I'm so grateful. But I think the judges themselves, they're very open to different styles of cuisines as well. And I think if they see that you're cooking with a particular emotion, or if you're cooking with a passion, and you're not fabricating your food to suit them, I think that is the biggest tip, or the biggest point I can talk about, because I cooked my food the way I would want to cook it at home. I didn't change the flavors. I didn't alter the seasoning, or how much salt, or how much chili, or how much of a certain herb or spice I'm using to suit their palate. And I think that's what benefited me in the show. So yeah, I was very, very grateful to them because they loved not just the fancy and not just the European, or the French desserts and those things that I made, but they also liked the traditional home food that, I cooked for them. So yeah. I started off with a very vague concept. When the moment we lifted, because it was a mystery box challenge, and when I saw the bento, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to make Japanese food, because I actually love eating a bento box. I love it. It's one of the best meals ever, especially for a lunch. And I was like thinking, my head was going in a Japanese direction. I was like, I have to think of like like Asian inspired dishes. So I was actually thinking of doing an Indo-Chinese bento box that day. I can do like Manchurian, I can do noodles or fried rice, and like make a bento around that. But when the judges said you can go wild with this and you can do whatever you want, the first thing that I thought of, I was like, how about a thali? Like everyone in India, well, I know in my grandma's house, at my nanny's house, we used to have a thali with like different compartments. And as a child, that was the most exciting thing for me, because you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things, and then you get a dessert at the end. So I wanted to recreate that for them. And when they said, a bento, which is a lunch concept, I was like, well, a tiffin is massive. It's like a cuisine in itself, home style. And in a tiffin, you will never get fancy things. Okay, you'll always get simple home food. And sometimes it's like very basic food as well. So that's what I wanted to do. And I think with the time, I was multitasking. I grew up in Delhi. I was 11 when I moved here with my mum and dad and my brother. And then I grew up in Newcastle, which is, a town or a city about 2 hours north of Sydney. In India, I grew up in an extended, in a joint family in Delhi, as most people do. Food was such a big part of my family as well, like, not just like going out and eating, but also like street food. And, I lived with my grandmother, my dad's grandmother. So they used to all cook, and I've watched them cook over the years. And I mean, I can't exactly replicate what they're making, but I know the style of food that they make. There are so many favorite places in Delhi, honestly. I could eat everywhere. But the one place that I used to go with my mum and dad all the time, it was in Pandara Road, and there's a restaurant called Bhindi, and then there's a restaurant called Gulati. So we used to go to those two restaurants, like quite regularly, actually. Last time when I went to India with my husband, we actually went to Chandni Chowk, and we had like the bhalla papri chaat from Natraj, and that was just amazing. I don't think I've had anything like a better bhalla papri chaat than that. We were still quite used to eating our home food. It was only when I started growing up and I started cooking things, like I would make pasta at home all the time, and my parents would love it, But for them, that's not a dinner, that's a snack. So I would make it I would make a massive, tray of pasta bake, and my dad would eat it, and he's like, okay, where's the, the dinner now? And I was like, that was the dinner. But so that's the kind of family I grew up in. So for us, even now, food is, a dinner or a proper meal would comprise of like dal, roti, sabzi, chawal, like, all those things. Look, my basic food dream was always to see myself on a cover of a cookbook. I've always had that dream, and I've had that dream since I was like in high school, like year 9, year 10. I think MasterChef has just kind of made that solidified that dream for me in a way where I'm just more sure. It's given me more clarity about this passion of mine. It started off as a hobby, turned into a passion. I applied for the show. It worked, really well in my favor. And it was all unexpected. And I didn't expect to even get a white apron, let alone get into the top 10. I didn't expect to have the judges support me so much. I didn't expect to get the support of the fans and, the supporters, and even family and friends were so encouraging. So it was all, unexpected, but it worked in my favor. So MasterChef has kind of just solidified that dream that food is where I want to go, because that is a passion it's kind of just taken over my life in a way, in a good way, obviously. So yeah, I would love to open up a restaurant in the near future. It's kind of showed me that I can do this, and home food is an acceptable cuisine. It's not something that you only eat at home. People in Australia love that stuff, and I think that's what I need to showcase, and that's what I elevated on the show as well. My mum and dad are very excited, and they get really proud because they get sent WhatsApp videos from their groups that they have with their college friends and their school friends, and they're based all over the world and India as well. So they get really, really excited. Even my father-in-law was showing me a video, and he's like, he got sent a video and he said, that is my daughter-in-law. And they were like, what? Like, they didn't know. So that is definitely really exciting. A lot of my school friends are reaching out to me. They're sharing, chats and photos and videos of people talking about me. So it's very humbling, but it's also, like I said, it's very overwhelming in its own way. I only wish one thing, that I wish, I mean, we all wish that COVID wasn't around, but I really wished to travel in India at this time, because I think that would just mean so much to me. And I'd want to experience that in person. I actually want to go there and then, experience food. Like, I would absolutely, I can't even tell you how much I would love to be there right now. And I think with COVID, all of us are just kind of like, okay, we have to wait till it's all finished and then finally start traveling and those kind of things. But yeah, it's a blessing in disguise. Yeah. Yes, he is one of my food idols, and I did not believe it. And I was like, he knows, the fact that he even knows my name is like amazing. Like, I couldn't even tell. And my husband's not very big with Indian chefs. He grew up. He was like less than a year old when he moved here, so he's very Aussie in that way. And I was showing him. I'm like, do you remember this chef? Because I'm always watching his videos. And my husband's like, oh my God, I actually know this guy. And I was like, he just shared my post, and we couldn't believe it. It was unreal. And it's like I don't know how you even compare that or put it in words. He's like the biggest food figure in, there's Ranveer Bra, there's him, there's a few others, but like, they're one of the top food figures in India. And the fact that they are watching us, they, are encouraging us, and they want us to do well. I mean, that just goes to show that, we've made Indians proud. We've made our cuisine proud. We've also elevated that cuisine to a different level internationally. And that makes me really happy.